వద్దు వద్దు అయిపోయింది, స్టార్ట్ అయింది. ఇంకొక 1 minute ఉంది.
Namaskaram, everybody. Thank you for joining. Srinathadipurutrayam Ganapatim Pitatrayam Bhairavam Siddhaugam Vatukatrayam Patayugam Duti Gramam Mandalam Virantyashta Chatushkashastinavakam Veeravali Panchakam Shriman Malani Mantraraja Sahitam Vande Gurur Mandalam Matharme Madhukaita Bhagni Mahishaf Pranapaharodhyame Hela Nirmita Dhumra Lochana Vade He Chandamundardini Nisheshe Kritarakta Bija Danuje Nitye Nishumbhapahe Shumbhadvansani Samhara Suduritan Durge Namaste Beke Sarvam Shri Chandi Mahalakshmi Shri Padukam Pujayami Tarpayami Namaha Sadgurum Shri Padukam Pujayami Tarpayami Namaha. Welcome. The Kashmiri Shaivism, the lectures were it was not a part of the timetable, but I announced it for the weekend as a special lecture series in foundation to the Srividya theories and learning that we are doing. Those who have not missed the class, it's fine. No need to get hassled by that. You have the recordings available. You can go through the recordings. The lecture notes are also going to be, they were already published, the brief notes in our Facebook. The detailed lecture notes are also going to be shared with you as PDF. Please go through that. And I'm really sorry if somebody felt that I'm keeping too many classes, because as I keep saying, I've been saying this since the time I'd been teaching Taruni and all for many, many years. Like, no matter how many if I'm going to take classes for 24/7 also, it's not enough actually. That much, it's a subject topic like that, basically, you know. So like you keep learning, and you keep learning, and you keep assimilating the learning. That's what it is all about. So before I start today's class, let me show you a diagrammatic representation of the tattvas that I shared. Just look into your screen so that you get a kind of an idea. It's there in your WhatsApp. I've shared it. So I'm just talking to the coordinator here. So because the Tattva map as given by Dr. Kavita Chinayan, she's her book, which I had been also referring for taking these classes. Dr. Kavita Chinayan has written 2 books on relation to Srividya and Lalita Sahasranama. I got the opportunity to meet her when I was recently in the US. So very amazing person, doing great, uh, great work both in the field of medicine and in the teachings of Srividya. And I found this Tattva map. I thought it will be easy for you all to understand, which I'm just going to share it and kind of explain to you all so that the theory that we have been just talking is going to make sense for all of you. Okay, fine. As we go into that, let me introduce today's topic. Because when we speak of what is the pure and the impure paths in Tantra, it's not just in Srividya, basically in Tantra, we must first understand that these are not moral judgments, basically. They do not correspond to the outer conduct of the rituals or the ritual styles or the social norms, basically. They are distinction between Shuddha Tattvam, that is the pure path, and the Ashuddha Tattvam, that is the impure path, is entirely a matter of how reality is perceived and how importantly where identification is taking place. These are the two important things: how reality is perceived and how identification is taking place, actually. So now let's quickly revise to what we were learning in the foundations. Those who are sincerely attending the class or those who have missed the previous portions, you can just understand from this map that is given by Dr. Kavita Chinnayan that Shiva and Shakti, and then Sadashiva, Ishvara, and Shuddha Vidya. And from there, Maya is coming into action. And Raga, Vidya, Kala, Kala, and Niyati. What are they? They are together called as what? Please let me know. In one word, what they are called as in the chat box. Murusa Ramayana Keta Sita Raman Chitta Pavan Keta Mari Trimbi Fastler. I don't know if anybody is going to start it. Exactly. They are called as Kanchukas. Very specifically, they are called as the Kanchukas. They are technically called as Kanchukas. You have to understand this. Great. So the Kanchukas are coming into existence. The Maya is explained in detail. And there what is happening, Shiva and Shakti, that is Prakasha and Vimarsha, who were together, has very specifically, they have segregated as Purusha and Prakriti. And from that difference, we have something called as the Buddhi, Ahankaram, and Manas coming into existence. And Buddhi, Ahankaram, and Manas together, they are called as which component? Students, use the chat box to tell me. Exactly. Correct. Very correct. No, they are not Malas. They are the Chitta. Correct. Correct. So from there, what's happening? We are having Jnanendriyas, Karmendriyas, the Tanmatras, and the Mahabhutas coming to existence. This is clear to all of you. Yes, I would like some emojis coming up because you have exams. Those who want to go beyond the foundations to learn from our Mahavidyalaya, there will be an exam. You have to face the exam, and exam will be based on this part. I'm telling you openly. I'm telling you the question will be framed from this part of the from this part. The question will be formed, and I would be asking you to explain. Of course, I'm not going to ask you to explain directly these things. You have to talk in a very contextual manner. The essay will be framed like that. You cannot use internet for sure, because I know that these are very much available in the internet. So the question will be put in such a way that you have to write on your own, actually. Because nowadays teachers have to think much smarter than the AI, basically, because I know that AI will give you the answers. So, like I have to think one step a little ahead of the AI, actually, if at all I'm not that intelligent also, perhaps. So the question will be given in that way that you should be able to answer from these components. So it's not like you do some ratta marna, that, you're not trying to by heart or something like that. You have to understand so that you can apply it, actually. So I hope this is clear to all of you. Correct? We can close this. So moving further. So as I told you, Shuddha Tattvam, Ashuddha Tattvam, they both are nothing but the pure and the impure paths, how reality is perceived, and how identification is taking place. These are the two components, correct? Got it? So the impure path, let me talk about the impure path. According to the Srividya theories, the impure path begins wherever there is a separation that we feel between aham and idam. Aham and idam. The difference between aham and idam. What is aham? I. And what is idam? That. I versus that. You know, that separation. As long as the I experiences itself as the limited subject, there is an encountering that keeps taking place with the external objects. The I constantly keeps comparing and associating with itself with the external objects. Okay? The movement of consciousness therefore becomes ashuddham. Because of that, what happens? The consciousness within keeps becoming ashuddham actually, because the I is focusing on the external things actually. You are able to understand. The I is not able to focus upon the self. The I is focusing constantly on other things, people, situation, environment, things actually, Because of that, what is happening internally, the consciousness is becoming ashuddham actually. Are you able to follow what I'm trying to say? If I should not drag this lecture for the next 40 minutes and sum up in one sentence and 1 minute, therefore, the consciousness has forgotten its relationship, the eternal relationship with Shiva and Shakti. That's it. Finished. Today's class is over. That's it now, because we are constantly attracted towards everything that is outside. I like this sari, I like that car, I like this kind of a husband, I like that kind of children, I like this kind of a job, I wanted that kind of a package salary, I like only Lalita, I don't like Durga. I mean, various things actually coming up. The eye is going on looking for outside thing, but the eye is not able to look within actually. Therefore, what is happening? We are going so far away from our own self, the self, not the physical self actually. Are you able to follow what I'm trying to say? We are going so far away from the physical self. We are completely forgetting. Systematically, we are forgetting ourselves. And since we are going on associating with the external objects, what we are doing? We are going on increasing our karma. We are going on increasing it actually. Manifold our karma is increasing. As the karma is going on increasing, what is happening? We are not able to come inside actually. We are going outside. The outside is taking us as many janmas we have to take, because we are going on attracted towards the outside things, outside doers, outside wishes. So therefore, we are going so far away from the Shiva Shakti Tattva. Yes or no? Are you able to follow what I'm trying to say? Therefore, this is even true in the scope of the practitioner. Let me see this, whatever I'm trying to say. This is not just for people who are into the material world alone. I mean, forget about doing the spirituality and everything. This is also as equally dangerous for anybody who is into the so-called sadhana actually. Like going on doing colorful pujas, decoration, chanting of mantras. You understand what I'm trying to say? You keep doing that you forget the reason why you are doing it actually. Are you able to follow what I'm trying to say? Oh, what a puja Guruji has done. Ah, you know, such a great thing he has done this. Great. You understand what I'm trying to say? The very reason of doing all those things were what to connect with my inner self. I wanted to connect all of you, those who directly were part or indirectly you were part, to connect within yourself actually. Are you able to understand? If that is not going to happen, and we are going to focus upon like I got only one laddu whereas he gave two laddus to her, my sari color was not at all nice whereas he gave that nice red color sari to her, he was talking very nicely to him whereas he didn't talk to me. You understand now what I am trying to say? I think he's close. Guruji is close to that student actually. The way he talks to him or her is like, but he doesn't talk to me like that. We came here for what purpose and we'll end up doing what actually? Are you able to follow what I'm trying to say? So being in the material world to do all these things is but because the spiritual world, but like or a spiritual organizations turning out to be, the standard is like, okay, this is the standard. This is the way of doing. We are being very cautious here actually, because the Lalita Sahasranama very clearly says, and I keep remembering this. There are, I will take this line. There are 25 verses in Lalita Sahasranama which I remember every day in the morning. In that, one verse is Antarmukha Samaradhya Bahirmukha Sudurlabha. That I pray to Devi, whatever I am doing outside, I should do it within myself, before doing, after doing, and forever I should be doing actually. Antarmukha Samaradhya. Antarmukha Samara Bahirmukha Sudurlabha. Because you have to do things in such a way that you will not keep focusing on the outside alone. You should be able to do all those aradhanas, what we did for 2 days, within yourself actually. How many of you know the Payasam story? Taruni will raise their hands, I know that. You want to listen to a story? But don't sleep away. I'm not saying some bedtime story. This is classic pastime when we talk about this Antarmukha Samaradhya, Bahirmukha Sudurlabha. There was this great devotee, it seems, of Devi, who used to sit under a tree and keep praying to her or worshipping her, okay? This sadhaka, he does a lot of pujas to Devi within his own heart, actually, within his own heart and own mind, actually. One day, he is performing Navavarna Puja to Devi within his heart. Okay. For the Navavarna Puja, he wanted to offer Payasam as Naivedyam, actually, during the Navavarna Puja. So, he is cooking Payasam, it seems. So, he has kept a stove. He has kept all the, the charcoal and everything. He started burning them. Then he kept a nice vessel, a steel, yeah, a nice brass vessel. He poured pure cow milk into that. He has poured sugar, he has poured rice. He's stirring that, he has put cardamom powder. He has poured cashews, raisins, a little bit of ghee, edible camphor, saffron, and he's nicely cooking. Nice aroma is coming, he's able to feel that aroma. He's able to he's visualizing it, and he's doing that. And while he's cooking the payasam, what happened was that the payasam, it actually, what happened, the payasam started, the pal pongon solluvala, it started boiling and it came out, it seems. And while it came out, he was holding it. So what happened, he got burnt his finger, it seems. The little finger got burnt. Okay. And when he actually opened his eyes and saw, actually his little finger was burnt, it seems. in real. So imagine the amount of Samayachara Tatparaya Namo Nama. Samayacharam. This is Samayachara. This is one of the Achara. There are like, we are going to shortly get into the theories of various Agamas and Acharas in Srividya. Samayachara. Within Samayachara, they internalize the entire worship. You just imagine his hands were like burnt, it seems. His little finger was a little bit burnt when he opened his eyes and he saw actually. Just imagine the power of visualization actually. The power of connection. Now we are all having, this is what it is. Why I'm trying to connect is that now we all have strength. So we are able to do physically, we are able to do. At one point of time, we cannot do physically everything. Yes or no? That is the truth. That is the harsh reality. Yes or no? The shariram is not going to be like this. The sharira kshinam is going to happen. And when the kshinam of the shariram is happening, at that point of time, we cannot, you see a lot of, unfortunately, a lot of old people will keep brooding about this. I wish I would have done this, my health is not cooperating. I am not able to walk. My knees are not cooperating. I wanted to do this. I wanted to do that. See, that agony we should not undergo. That is the primary reason why I am teaching all these things to you, so that you live with that grace. As you are getting older, you don't feel the burden of this body. You don't feel the burden of your own self, that you feel so light that we are ready to go to that eternal world actually. Are able to follow what I'm trying to say? Very important, very essential for us. Absolutely guilt-free. And looking forward for her to come and take us actually. That is the reason this is called as Atma Vidya basically. And whatever we are doing now physically, it should help us to get internalized that even in the last moments, that when we are bedridden and we are waiting to quit this body, these things, what you're doing right now is going to add strength and wisdom to you actually. Rather than feeling guilt, rather than feeling remorse, rather than feeling the fear of death, rather than feeling that nobody is there or not there, you know that Lalita is there with you in and out. She is there with you, whether you are in the body or not body, it's not going to make any difference. You are ready to move to the next stages of life actually. Getting it? So connecting to the consciousness is what we are trying to do. Very, very systematically, thoughtfully, I am doing it actually. I'm trying my level best, doing for myself and doing for each one of you actually. So therefore, this Ashuddha Tattvam is what we are trying to fight through the Srividya theories actually, in a very intelligent manner, that we are going on getting attracted to the external world in various means. Fine, let's keep doing that because we are not able to stop ourselves. But how to intelligently from there to, by being attracted to the external world, how we can come inside ourselves actually. How we can do it in a very systematic manner, in a very thoughtful manner, in a very powerful manner actually. Are able to understand what I'm trying to say? So therefore, to get into further into details of this, as I said, this is even true in the case of a practitioner who is trying to do meditation, chanting, or performing sophisticated rituals. Because conversely, the pure path begins the moment this separation collapses, when aham recognizes idam as it is own self-expression. Thus, the purity and impurity are what we call the ontological states of recognition. Very important. Ontological states of recognition. Ontology. What is ontology? You have to study for yourself. Kamakshi. The ontological states of recognition. They are not simply behavior, or they are not ethical categories. They are not simply behavior. They are not ethical categories. Now, to understand this further, students, this is a kind of an abstract metaphysics actually, and it becomes a lived experience. we must descend into what is known as the microscopic maps of the shariras, the pranas, and the koshas. The three concepts I'm introducing from the pure and the impure path. Now we are getting to the next theoretical understanding, the sharira, the prana, and the kosha. Because these microscopic ideas, the concepts, are the mechanisms through which the purity and impurity are actually experienced by the human beings. Actually, the purity and the impurity are actually experienced by the human beings. Now, let's begin with the three shariras. The gross body is where the impure path becomes visible. The stula sharira. Okay, the stula sharira. And when I talk about the sharira, the stula sharira, you know that there is stula sukshma karana sharira, the gross body, the subtle body, the causal body. There are three kinds of bodies are there. We constantly get attracted or known to our physical body, stula sharira, which we can actually feel. And in these three bodies, there are degrees of condensation of consciousness. Very important. You can make a note of this. Degrees of condensation of consciousness. So when I spoke about the Stula Shariram, the Stula Shariram is the one which operates through action, reaction, habit, and sensory engagement. Action, reaction, habit, and sensory engagement. And most importantly, the karmic consequences. The karmic consequences. And when the Stula Sharira, that is the gross body, the physical body, is like the life is experienced that something is happening to me. That is pleasure versus the pain. The dominant perception that the world is favorable versus unfavorable. The world is favoring me or unfavoring me. And this physical body is the domain where karma is in the most obvious form, actually. Karma is in its most obvious form. So this is all about the Stula Sharira. Now the Sukshma Shariram, the Sukshma Sharira, or the subtle body, is composed of prana, mind, and senses. Prana, mind, and senses, including the intellect. Including the intellect, actually. This is where the real drama of impurity takes place. That is, because impurity is not actually caused by the body. This is something which we all have to understand. But by the misidentification in the subtle field, actually. Your body is just an instrument of doing that impure act. You understand what I'm trying to say? Any impure act is just the body is trying to do. The body is not the reason, actually. The subtle body is the actual reason which is making you to do it, actually. So therefore, thoughts, emotions, memories, preferences, aversion, and self-images, they arise here, actually. And as long as our consciousness, identifies with these movements, what happens? The aham gets completely collapsed into a psychological construct, and idam becomes perceived to the external world constantly. The aham collapses into a psychological construct, and the idam is perceived with the external world, actually, constantly with the external world. Can't even think of there is something beyond the external world, actually. Are you able to follow? Deeper than this lies the Karana Shariram, the next one. The Karana Shariram, that is the causal body. This is not at all a body of activity, but a body of impressions. It's a body of impressions. It's a body of impressions. It is here that vasanas and samskaras actually reside. The vasanas and the samskaras. You know what are samskaras? I've already explained in detail the concept of samskaras. Correct? Vasanas and samskaras, you know. Yes or no? Kalyani amma, sollunga. Amava illiya? Yes or no? Sandhya Saptasagar, Saraswati Basin, Jaya Hegde. Hmm? Yes or no? What are vasanas and samskaras? Write to me now. Chat box, please. What is vasanas and samskaras? 2-3 lines, please. How to get into a state in such a profound visualization internally? Good questions, Swastik. That is the reason we are learning all these things. Habits is one concept. Yes, Neelam, correct. Desires, okay. Taken. Next. Okay, vasanas are deep desires through lifetimes. Vasanas, attachments of the mind and the body. Sharat Raj, good. Our long-term accumulated karmas. In consciousness. What is in consciousness? Some of you are seriously going through the notes. Sriram Challappan, good. Let me know. See, this keep revising, actually. Impression of the subtle body from the past lives. Okay. Samskaras is equal to past impression. Good, Nishant. Okay. Grooves of habit. Exactly using the terminologies given by me. Experience and actions and habits. Very good. So you have fair idea. Sonam, simply thinking, confusing, overwhelming, too much. Attachment, detachments, and habits. Vishwanath, very good. Attachments and detachments. Detachment, okay. Fair enough, can be taken. Past experience and actions. Good, Chilappa. Okay, let's move forward. So, it is the vasanas and the samskaras that reside in the Karana Sharira. So, these are the latent tendencies that shape how the subtle body reacts and how the gross body behaves, actually. You know, the subtle body and the gross body reacting when they come to the upper layers, when it comes to your physical level, how these vasanas and samskaras are actually, reacting. The Karana Sharira is there is something called as, it carries the clouded buddhi, actually. The Karana Sharira clouds the buddhi, basically. That is making discrimination dull and habitual and repetitive, actually. It makes us more towards the physical self rather than connecting ourselves to the soul, actually. Are you able to understand what I'm trying to say? It is not helping us to connect to the soul, but it is making us to constantly connect us to the physical self, actually. To the physical self means what I'm trying to say. To the physical, emotional, psychological being that you keep perceiving yourself, actually. Rather than internally connecting you, it is externally connecting you. That's the reason I'm saying what? It is clouding our buddhi. It's creating a clouded impression upon us, making us to realize that this is what is the real, rather than there is something which we are trying to look deeper inside. It is not helping us to connect with that. This is why we have to understand that ignorance persists even when one is intellectually knowledgeable. Please understand. This is why ignorance persists even when one is intellectually knowledgeable or ritually active. That's why my guru keeps saying this entire Srividya, this Tantra, this, all these things in itself can become a vasana actually. Are you able to follow what I'm trying to say? You keep thinking that you have done something so great. You understand? That itself is the first step to fall down, terrifically actually. That, oh, you're such a great upasaka, this, oh yeah, I am a great upasaka. Go. Are you able to follow what I'm trying to say? This itself can become a vasana. You forget about the samsara vasanas. The sadhana itself can become a vasana, unfortunately. If we are not in that is the reason we need that avyaja karunam of Parambika actually. Even knowing all these things, how to be unknown actually. So, coming back, as long as the Karana Sharira governs perception, the impure path continues. This is the key learning outcome of today's class. If I will repeat it for you, if you want to write down. As long as the Karana Sharira governs the perception, as long as the Karana Sharira governs our perception, the impure path continues. Okay? So now the question should be coming intelligently. Now the thing is that I should work on the Karana Shariram. Correct, na? I should be correcting my Karana Shariram. So the medicine is needed for the Karana Shariram. Yes? What is the medicine? Correct, na? I am not telling you people today. Wait, the answer will come further. Now, if we look at the same structure through the lens of the Pancha koshas, the same concept of the purity and impurity, we saw it from the shariras, the three shariras. Now, if we look the same impure and the pure from the Pancha koshas, the picture becomes much more clearer for us students. What are the Pancha koshas? The Annamaya kosha, the Pranamaya kosha, the Manonmaya kosha, the Vijnanamaya kosha, and the Anandamaya kosha. Okay, once again, if I have to repeat, the notes will be coming for you. The Annamaya kosha, Pranamaya kosha, Manonmaya kosha, Vijnanamaya kosha, and Anandamaya kosha. Okay. These koshas are assignment for you. Though I'm giving the notes, you can read for yourself from the internet actually. They have nice explanations are there in the internet. When you put this 5 koshas itself, you will get a lot of knowledge. So you can put this, the notes are also coming. So I'm just skipping to explain that. So what is happening is that in this 5 koshas, within the Tantric, I'm giving the Tantric Shastra perspective in regard to the 5 koshas, because the 5 koshas are discussed in detail, both Vedanta, Veda, Tantra, in every aspect it is explained. But in the Tantric model, what we are trying to understand is that these koshas are reframed more radically, actually, according to the Srividya theories. That is, the innermost chit is pure awareness of the self, and the outside it is shunya actually. Inside it is full of awareness is there, but outside it is complete shunyam is there. That is the void of experience in deep meditation actually. So what, in simple words, what I'm trying to say is that we have a lot of awareness which is deeply stored within us, but we are not able to experience because of these 5 koshas, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And inside the kosha, our entire Chit is there actually. The entire awareness is there. So if these five koshas will open up for us, we will be able to realize that we are actually the descendant of Shiva and Shakti come here actually. For unnecessarily, because of our own unfortunate reasons, we have landed up in this world. In all these connectivities we have landed, we will understand actually. Raghavendra, do I make sense? If I'm not making sense also, please read the koshas and then you can raise questions. I can answer there from there actually. But outside it is shunya. Shunya is what? Zero actually. We are not having that awareness actually. But inside we have deep awareness. Inside we have deep awareness. And this is experienced how that that awareness I'm talking, that is through the process of sadhana. It makes us to explain it, it makes us to experience in three ways, it seems. One in prana, one in chitta, and finally in your deha, in your body itself. You will be able to experience that. In the state of deha, we have to experience means we have to be of a very higher stature. For example, if I have to think of any one individual means, in that state, it is Mahaperiva, Kanchi Mahaperiva. Even in body, you understand what I'm trying to say. He could emanate that actually. But otherwise, we will be definitely able to experience in our prana, in our chitta, and finally in our deha itself. This is the ordering: prana, chitta, and finally the deha. So when that's the reason we call Mahaperiva as Nadamadum Devam actually, the walking God. Why we call him the walking God? Because whether he was living in that shariram or not living in that shariram, it is one and the same actually. Yes or no? Even now we revere him actually. He's still there. You understand? Though physically he might be not there in that particular body, but we know that he's still there. You understand what that is the presence actually. That presence we perceive actually. So prana, chitta, and deha. That they pierce through these pancha koshas and they are able to come out of it actually. This ordering makes one thing very clear actually. What it is? Prana is the upstream of mind and body. It is the upstream of mind and body actually. Mind, body, prana actually. Because the body is governed by the mind. The body, mind, normal individuals are breathing. But sadhakas will do what? Sadhakas have prana shakti. Upasakas have the pranan coming as shakti, which is able to control the mind in such a way the body is functioning in a very different dimension actually. We say, for example, people say that you look at him or you look at her, he or she is just like Devi. Yes or no? They say that actually. The body is the body looks like Devi, that they talk like Devi, they walk like Devi. You understand what I'm trying to say? For some people, we say this actually. They look like Devi. They are Devi them. How? Why? Because mind and body connected with that pranan, and that pranan is what? Mantratmika Shakti. Their breath itself is mantra, basically, in Srividya, actually. In Srividya or Tantra, their breathing is not just, it's not just air, but they are breathing the mantra, they are inhaling and exhaling the mantra. That's the reason they are the Devi Swarupam, we call actually. Are you able to follow what I'm trying to say? So this is the secret behind these theories actually. So body and mind, breathing, the breathing is not simply breathing, but that is pranan, prana shakti. And what is prana shakti in Srividya? Mahasodashi. Mahasodashi is called as prana shakti. Prana shakti of whom? Parameshwara. Prana shakti of Parameshwara. Got it? పురియర్దా నన్న పురియర్దా బాగా అర్థం అవుతుందా మనసు లాయో చెన్నగా అర్థ అయితా समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं? So I know that I'm crossing the time. So you decide for today, I'm stopping here, whether you want to simply breathe or you want to become the Prana Shakti. You want to simply keep inhaling and exhaling and become another burden for this Bhumi Mata, or you want to contribute to her that she says that this soul is my putra, basically. You understand what I'm trying to say? He or she is my putra, not a burden. You know, people say you are a burden for the earth. Yes or no? Very true. We are all burden for this earth, actually. Doing good for nothing for anybody, including for our own self and for everybody, actually. We are trying to do, but we are constantly failing because of the limitedness we are actually. Understand that, students. I'm not trying to degrade anybody, actually. So convert that breathing into pranan, and that pranan should become Shakti. This is the message I'm leaving to all of you tonight. I'll continue from here. Tomorrow, I will talk deeper into the concept of pranan from the prana vayus. And from prana vayus, we will be getting further into what is called as taking the concept to the Shuddha Vidya, and the theories will further evolve. From the Shuddha Vidya, we will get into what is called as the acharas, the different acharas and the system that are there within the Srividya traditions, actually. Thank you so much. Let's do the Mangalam to finish off the session. सर्वमङ्गलमाङ्गल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थसाधिके शरण्ये त्र्यम्बके गौरि नारायणि नमोऽस्तुते जयन्ती मङ्गला काली भद्रकाली कपालिनी दुर्गा शिवा धात्री स्वाहा स्वधा नमोऽस्तुते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ सर्वं श्रीचण्डी महालक्ष्मी अर्पणमस्तु तथास्तु. May you all breathe the breathing to convert into prana. Ashirvadam, anugraham to all of you. Namaskaram.